the segment of Key's Corner where we're talking nothing but straight sports. And tonight we are talking about boxing. It is that time of year again where we get these moments throughout the year where we get consistent good fights every weekend, and it's a great time to be a fight fan. So let's get into it and let's break down all the fights coming up here in the next few weeks. So starting this weekend, we were supposed to have the return of the problem Adrian Broner, but he's got a problem. He pulled out of the fight against Omar Figueroa. Lipinets wound up taking Broner's spot. To be honest, this might be a blessing in disguise for fight fans. I'm not really sure where Adrian Broner is at physically. I think we know where he's at now mentally, but physically, I'm not really sure. We all know he's always been a great physical specimen. He's always had the tools and the skills, but just after a while, he couldn't put it all together in the ring. But Omar Figueroa was game, and Lipinets, who replaced Broner, this might make a better fight than what Broner could have produced for us. So I'm not too disappointed. I'm gonna take Figueroa in this only because I think it's last minute for Lipinets. But this will be good because both are come forward fighters. Again, like I said, unlike Broner's not a come forward fighter. Both Figueroa and Lipinets are come forward fighters. But because Lipinets is coming in last minute, I'll go ahead and give it to Figueroa, which might be a blessing for Figueroa because, depending on how Broner came in, I don't think Broner at 100% mentally and physically. I don't think Figueroa could have taken him out. So he might have been catching the L. Now he's coming in this weekend, probably going to catch this dub. So, good for him. Then we also have Saturday, August 20th, Anthony Joshua versus Usyk. I'm excited for that one. It's probably one of the biggest fights of the year. But everybody's hyping up Anthony Joshua, but I'm not buying into it. I've quit buying into the Anthony Joshua hype a long time ago. He always comes out looking good. He looks good. He sounds good. His camp always, talks a good talk. I guess that's what a good camp is supposed to do. But at the end of the day, Usyk is, in my opinion, on another level. I don't think the outcome of this fight is going to change much. I'm going to take Usyk, you know what, in 10. I was going to say 8, but I'll give Anthony Joshua a little bit of credit, and I'll say Usyk in 10. Before he gets that's probably when he gets dropped. He may get dropped in the 8th, and it'll be over in the 10th. Usyk is just on another level, and I think after that may set up a fight with Tyson Fury. Depending on what Tyson Fury does, who knows what he's gonna do. I'd really like to see that, but I don't think Tyson Fury wants to see that. You heard it here. And then we have on the 27th, we have Pedraza and Richard Comey. That's going to be another good fight. Fight most fight fans probably will sleep on, but I think that's going to be a really, really good fight. Pedraza is good. Both fighters are good fighters. I think I'm actually going to take Comey for the upset on this one. And then Sunday, September 4th, we have Andy Ruiz versus King Kong Ortiz. I've really, really soured on Andy Ruiz. Just the way that when he beat Anthony Joshua, and his head blew up, and so did his weight, and just did not train to the standard that Mexican fight fans expect. And he paid for it. He paid for it in the end, and I just don't think he's ever really lost that mindset. He looked decent in his last fight. But Ortiz, even though Ortiz won his last fight as well, I think this might be the last go around for Ortiz. The only thing that's going to get Andy Ruiz through this one is his youth that he has over Ortiz. The power factor probably goes to King Kong Ortiz. But Andy Ruiz is quicker, he's more elusive, and his power is not too far from King Kong Ortiz either. So I'll give Andy Ruiz the win in this one. Say it goes the distance. And then we have Saturday, September 10th, Clarissa Shields against Amanda Marshall. don't sleep on women's boxing. Women's boxing can be awfully entertaining, especially Clarissa Shields. Although I don't think this match will be entertaining. I think Clarissa Shields takes it hands down in 7. And then Friday, September 3rd, my man Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Canseco. I probably butchered that name, but whatever. Shakur Stevenson by a long shot. This was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was a mandatory that Shakur had to take. I don't understand why they put these cab drivers as mandatories. Stevenson should be already moving up to face bigger names, and that's probably. I mean, I'll give this one no more than 6. Probably going 4 rounds. Shakur with the knockout, and then this will set up hopefully a future big name coming down the road. Maybe by the end of the year. What are we in? We're in August. September. By the time that comes, maybe beginning of the year. Or maybe in the very, very end of the year, early next year, Shakur finally secures a big name match. I doubt it'll be against Tank, but that's a possibility. But Shakur Stevenson is money, and I'm here for it. He's one of the best in the game. So Shakur Stevenson in 4 to 6 rounds. And then we have Canelo Alvarez against Triple G. To be honest, I'm hyped about this fight. It's a huge fight, but I think at this point now, Triple G's washed. I think I said it. I think I covered this the last fight. Triple G looked good. He looked fluid, but that power didn't seem to be there. And he seemed to get hurt a little bit before. I mean, Triple G was one of the most durable fighters, has an iron chin, but in his last few fights, even though he looked really fluid and he looked good, he was moving, he was getting caught a couple times, and the times that he did he was wincing a little bit when he did get caught, which you don't normally see out of him. What's going to happen when Canelo put the mitts on him? And, Canelo is going to come forward. Canelo is motivated to prove that he's still the number 1 name in boxing, which it's kind of hard to argue. People love to hate on Canelo. He's the new Mayweather because he's the new face of boxing. So people love to hate on him, but you can't take away what he did. Like people really don't understand like the risk that he took moving up to fight Bebo. Like it may have been, in hindsight now, obviously it may have been a dumb risk for him to jump up that much, but it took courage to do what he did. You know what I mean? And Canelo, it was a big risk. High risk, high reward, and it didn't pay off. It is what it is. I don't think he should rematch Bebo. I think he needs to stop going up, but I think Canelo truly believed that he could keep coming forward and keep climbing ranks and possibly move all the way up to heavyweight. And I'm not gonna lie, like with the destruction, the path of destruction that he's led up until he fought Bebo, it was hard to say otherwise. But now we know. Now we know what his cap is, and you can't even really hate for him. Now he knows stay away from that. Although he's gonna take that rematch with Bebo, I don't see that going any different. He'll end up with 3 losses. But as long as he stays below that weight class, I don't see anybody that could beat him after that. So there it is. And then so that takes us out to, that should take us through the end of September and then into October. Hopefully other good fights get made. Hopefully the Bud and Spence fight gets made. And then we'll see where Canelo goes. Maybe he fights Bebo before the end of the year. Who knows what other good fights are going to be. Maybe the Ryan Garcia and Tank fight can be made. We'll see. Hopefully we close out the end of the year with a lot of good fights. Hopefully they'll be made. And if they are, I'll be back to discuss them. But other than that, that's all from here on this segment of Keys Clubhouse. I appreciate y'all posting up with your boy. Get y'all ass back out on the corner.